If you are a B2B service-based business owner and you are looking to gain more clients, create more impact and more revenue in your business, tune in to Amplify Your Marketing Message with Campbell Rapin. Every week, we're going to take you through how to build an audience of buyers, mastering your marketing message, and making offers that convert consistently. We'll see you all on the inside. Welcome back, everybody. Super excited to talk to you today about a passion of mine. You've heard me say it once. You've heard me say it at least 100 times, if not even maybe several hundred, that your business will be built on strangers. And it is moving strangers forward in your business that will have a huge impact on your ability to create client growth. And when you can move somebody from a stranger to a subscriber, when they put up their hand and say, I want more of you, more of your expertise, more of the solutions that will guide me to the results I want, you have a golden opportunity. And I'm bringing together a master at helping us move and convert strangers to subscribers. If you do not already know, it is my absolute pleasure to introduce you to Kimberly Weitkamp, who is a rock star when it comes to lead gen. Welcome to the show. Super excited to have you with us today.
Thank you so much, Christine. Super excited to be here, and I love that intro. It was very, very fantastic. I'm super excited to chat with you today about the stranger to subscriber success.
So let's just start about the fact that everyone's like, I don't want to make friends with strangers. And truthfully, they think this is really hard. And you do this so well. Let's talk about the first piece of the puzzle. How do we go make friends with strangers? And what's the key to taking the ick factor out of this?
Ooh, great question. So if you're wanting to take the quote unquote ick factor out of connecting with strangers, one easy way is for them to reach out to you. I love talking about lead generation and having a vocabulary lesson, or let's get each other on the same page. So when I talk lead gen, when I talk strangers, it's actually me wanting to connect with people who are actively looking for help to a challenge that I help solve, but they may not know my name yet, or they may not know your name yet, right? So when we talk about, how do we take the ick factor out? I don't want to reach out to strangers. I don't want to do cold outreach. Instead, it's about creating the content, the marketing, and the messaging that connects with people when they're in active problem awareness stage. That means they know they have a problem. They want to fix their problem. They don't know how to fix their problem, and they're actively looking for a person to help them solve the problem they've identified.
I so love this because, guys, do you notice how closely that mirrors what we've been talking about for eons here, more than 100 episodes into this podcast? It is about finding buyers. It is about finding people who are looking for you. And what's important is that they actually find you. Not this weird version of you, not this weird thing. And we talk about authenticity, but what are the keys to authentic connection? Because if you do it well, it's everything. And if you don't, it could kill your business.
Such a good point. So, keys to authentic connection. Number one is being yourself. And that may seem fairly obvious to us, but it's about not trying to censor yourself when you do your marketing. Oftentimes, we get so passionate, we connect with collaboration partners or referral partners. And we're like, yeah, here's what I do, and here's how I do it, and this is what I love about it. But then we'll say, but I don't know how to say that in marketing speak. And that is a red flag. If you think you need to translate it to marketing speak, that's when the disconnect happens. That's when you're trying to be somebody else because you think other people need to perceive you a certain way. So people will fall in love with the way you talk, the way you strategize, the way you see and view and perceive the world. So instead of being like, oh, if I say that, I think I'm going to turn people away, actively say the thing and then see who gives you comments, see who gives you responses, and you'll find that's what creates the authentic connection. So I like to talk about your three personal items when it comes to your marketing. What are the three things that have nothing to do with your business that you could love to talk about with strangers? And make sure to weave those in throughout your marketing strategy because you love talking about them. You'll talk about them with anyone. And that is what's really going to resonate with somebody because there's plenty of people who do what you do, but they like who you are. And that's a great way to show that you're a real person is to talk about like your love of baseball or the fact that you hate Asian food or that you love Star Wars or that you're not a fan of sci-fi at all. Like whatever that thing is, being able to weave it in, that's what helps you show up as yourself. That's what helps you remind yourself that you're a real person doing real person things and that your audience can see the same thing. Um, and really create a connection point, right? Create a connection point over the fact that you love a sports team and so do I.
I think this is so important. It's unfiltered because your people need to not be translated to marketing speak. They need to hear what you have to say, which is why we had a guest on here on our podcast recently, and it still lingers. It's such a laser to my heart. And he said, people hire you for your opinions. Make sure you have one. And I was like, oh, boom. It's so true, guys. We
Absolutely.
want you showing up with you. We want you showing up as human. People do business with people, and they need to see you as not just the thinker, but the heart, the human, and the person who is also a work in progress. And so a lot of people make mistakes when they're trying to find their clients and their next buyer. What are you seeing right now as the most common mistakes that we should address the elephant in the room around?
So the most common mistake I see is choosing the wrong topic. When I talk about choosing the wrong topic, it's more along the lines of we've become experts in what it is that we do that we forget people are 2, 3, or 10 steps behind us. So when we craft things like a lead magnet, for example, I'll see so many of them that are actually aimed at somebody who's ready to make a buying decision instead of trying to fix a problem. So it cuts out 90% of your audience. That person's already invested in somebody else, usually by the time they're ready to make that decision. And it turns away the people who don't know what you're talking about. So if you've got a specific method, if you've got a specific philosophy, and it's not clear what it is and how it works just from the name of it, when we're talking about lead generation activities, we want to instead address the problem. Talk about the problem and the outcome instead of the features and the thing that you deliver, right? A lot of people default to deliverables when it comes to marketing. They're like, I'm opening a new group coaching program. You're going to meet with me twice a week. It's going to be awesome. And it's going to be 90 minutes. And I'm like, well, I can spend that 90 minutes taking a hike. I can spend that 90 minutes watching a movie. I can spend that 90 minutes working on my business. Why should I spend the 90 minutes with you? 90 minutes doesn't have value. The fact that in 90 minutes, you're going to move me from afraid to speak on stage to deliver a talk confidently. Well, okay, now suddenly that 90 minutes makes sense. So when we talk about outcomes, when we talk about problems we solve, that's what you want to do with your lead generation marketing strategy and messaging instead of here's the things I deliver. Here's why my method is best because we want to make that connection point first.
Remember, guys, when someone has said, I want to be on your list and I want to subscribe to your opinions, your touch points, your things, they really want the result. The how is not that important. And I love how you break this down into meet them where they are at the moment they're at and bring your humanity to this. This is why I'm such a fan of the work that you do. And it sounds like a good theory. How come we fall apart and we don't have the results that we want? You have this 7-step process. Where do we start so we actually create strangers who are subscribers who want to hear about our business as it relates to solving a problem, and actually create really big ripples of awesomeness?
Really big ripples. I love that as a goal. That's fantastic. So whenever I hear somebody tell me, oh, my lead magnet's not working, oftentimes what they're saying is, I'm not getting calls. But there's 7 steps to that outcome. And we have to think of our messaging and we want to think of our strategy for each one of those steps. So that stranger to subscriber process, if you will, Think of a stranger as anyone who doesn't really know you and you don't know them, right? It's kind of the definition of of a stranger, but it's also the definition of a stranger when we're talking about getting people to become our clients. On social media, for example, even if we follow someone, they're still kind of a stranger. We don't really know them usually, especially since we can't guarantee we're going to see their stuff every time they post something, right? Because algorithms are what they are and we can't control them.
Mhm.
So when you craft something for social media or when you craft something for a gift giveaway, those are often going to be in front of people who don't know who you are. So the messaging you want to have is enough to stop the scroll, right? I'm going to go scroll through my phone. So it's stop the scroll, be authentic, be interesting, be different, and ask for an action, which is to click the link. So the first stage is how am I interacting with them in Strangerland, right? That's the first stop the scroll. It's the first step to converting somebody into a subscriber on your list. The second step is usually we have a page, right? We have a landing page. We have some place where we're holding the lead magnet. And the goal, the conversion point for that page is, did you fulfill on your promise? So somebody saw a post on social media and now are they in the right place? So the conversion point for that is, did they land there and consume the page? Whether it's just the headline and then they're like, okay, now I'm ready to click that button, or if you have more copy on the page, that's fine. But did you fulfill on the promise? You mentioned something on social. I went to the landing page. Okay, that's the second step of conversion. The third step is for me to actually put my information in. Is it enough? Is it intriguing enough? Does it talk to my pain points enough that, ooh, I want the thing you're promising? So now I'm going to enter my email address and hit submit. But you'll notice that's step 3. So step 4 is usually we get an email saying, hey, do you want to be on my list? And oftentimes, this is a huge mistake people make. They keep the boilerplate. That's the email provided by your system is what they keep, right? So it says something super exciting like, click below to confirm your subscription. And it's not a connection point. It's not a point for you to showcase who you are and how you stand out and how you're going to be different. Instead, you want to say something like, so excited you said yes to improving your list, getting more leads, and getting more clients in less time and putting it all on autopilot. But I want to make sure you want to hear from me. So please click the little button below. My email system makes me do it. And then I will send you on your way. The email system makes me do it. It's something most of us can relate to. We don't like having to click that button, but it makes you real. And it makes you realize that other people have the same struggle you do, which is having to use this system or comply with a rule, right? So
Mhm.
that's that step. And then, right, once they click the confirm, they get the email, they open the email, now they click to confirm on the email. Now they go and consume your lead magnet, which is actually step number 6. Did they actually consume the lead magnet? Whether it's a video, whether it's a checklist, did they take the quiz? And then did they take the final action step? Those are your 7 steps. So when we say our lead magnet's not working, my first question is, do you know how many people saw it? And usually people don't know that number because they're not paying attention to every step of the process. They're only paying attention to the very end. And the goal of a lead magnet is to get someone in your list. Then it works. If they take that next step, which is joining your group or subscribing to your podcast or booking a call, that's a bonus because the goal of your lead magnet is to actually get new subscribers so that you can open the dialogue, open the conversation with your people who are saying, yeah, I want to hear more from you. Whether or not they take that next step immediately, or if it takes 3 weeks, or if it takes 3 months, that's okay because now you have permission to keep talking to them.
This is so important. I think often we think, I'll just put it up there. I'll just launch it and hope to God that it's going to work. And when you break it down, there are moments of go, no go.
Mm.
I'm intrigued by the result. That's your hook. Am I in the right place or where the hell have I landed? Okay, I need to do something. Show me why it's worth it. Okay, now I'm doing a deeper dive. Did you deliver what you promised? Do I feel like this is solving a problem? And if so, I will stay subscribed to the Kool-Aid. And I love that you break this down because so many people say, well, blanket, I just have a lead magnet, and said, the goal is not to have a lead magnet. The one is to have an effective thing that moves your needle to create future clients. And if it's not doing that, it's broken. It's broken. And we have a lot of broken lead magnets out there.
So we do. Yes, we do.
The other thing I think that which is interesting is, and I know now I'm going to have to go reread my autoresponder because I think it probably could have a lot more flavor and a lot more of me in its context, is that everywhere along the way, people are choosing and making a decision, and you want to guide them in a decision that is in your favor.
Absolutely. And it is the one big missed opportunity when we talk about that email, simply because it is the one and only time the subscriber knows you're going to email them, because they just asked you to. And they're waiting for it and they're looking for it, right? How many of us have signed up to something, immediately gone to check our inbox? It's been 2 minutes. I'm going to hit refresh like 7 times. If it doesn't work, am I going to go back to it? Because they're actually eager to hear from you. So it's a huge wasted opportunity if you're not building the rapport immediately that, oh, yeah, when I get in your inbox, you want to read it because it's interesting, it's entertaining, it's valuable. Even if you don't take action on the item, it's still worth your time.
Yeah. And lead magnets, guys, should lead people to a result that is part of your business. It's
Yes.
part of the solution that you bring. I think having congruency, which means your lead magnet is not a vitamin if they need open heart surgery, and it should support your lead to your programs and services, because your programs and services are an expansion of the implementation to address the root problem. And that means you've got to know what your root problem is you're solving. You've got to speak in their language, and you've got to invite them to move, and not just move once, move multiple times, and trust that they're in the right place. And one other thing I just now I know, because I want to say this is one of the most important things, is if you are giving your lead a magnet in a group context, so whether that is you're speaking on a summit, you're involved in a giveaway, you said something important right at the beginning. These people don't know who you are. So don't send something from your name if I have no idea who you are, because you're like, I don't even know who you are. Why would I open this email? Which means you've lost them right out of the gate. So use something in their language that will give them context to you as a human being. You were at an event. You were dressed in the following. You were somehow memorable. Your open rates will get dramatically higher.
Absolutely. It's so key to speak to where people are at and to be that connection point and fulfill on your promise, right? How many times have we signed up for a lead magnet expecting to get a result? I don't expect to solve my $100,000 program, but I expect to have the first step, or I expect to have, that 10% more knowledge. So instead of treating our lead magnets as a freebie, right, as something I'm going to put free effort into and people expect free results out of, think of it as what it is: the first connection point in becoming a client. What do they need to know to move forward through the journey? And put that level of effort into it instead of free.
Yeah. And keep them moving. This is, I think, one of the hottest debated things is your goal of the lead magnet is a subscriber. And you said that, and I love that. So simple and true. And that means if they are not a buyer for you and they decide through your communication and that you're not for them, celebrate the unsubscribe.
Oh, yes.
This is about a
Celebrate,
match.
celebrate, celebrate.
And so if they're not the right person or they're not in the place, and you have to have the patience to keep them moving. You will have people on your email list that will become clients many years down the road. You will think it's not working. What are you observing? And I love that you also suggested go look at these 7 steps. When you say something's not working, what isn't working and what are you addressing to make it work better? And this is a game of incremental gain. One new subscriber can change your business.
Absolutely.
So I want to ask you, because I said I'm a big fan of the work that you do. We played around the block quite a few times over the last couple of years. What's working for you right now in your business to create impact, to find your next subscriber?
Oh, great question. Great question. So around finding my next subscribers, it's consistency. It's consistency. So I've met so many people who have a lead magnet, and when they promote it, it works, but they're not promoting it. And they have this mentality that, oh, well, I just shared it. Like, why should I share it again? And we've already said, right, on social media, even people who have said, yes, I want to hear from you. I want to follow you. You're a person I want to see in my feed. About 1 to 3% of what we put out there shows up in their feed immediately. The rest of it's going to be days or months down the line, and they're not going to see everything we put out. So we have to overcome this idea that we're going to bother people. Because on social media, especially if you're using social media, there's so much else to see that if what you have to offer is not of interest to them in that moment, they won't remember it. So don't worry about being a bother. Consistently share your lead magnets. Consistently share there is a way to create a deeper relationship with you, and it starts here. So what I tell people to do is every week minimum, be promoting a lead magnet, and you should have 3 to 5. So every week of the month, you can be promoting a different lead magnet, so it doesn't feel as if you're promoting the same thing. But you want to be constantly sharing, because who knows when it will resonate with the right person. There's no way for us to determine what's going on in other people's worlds. But if we create something so fantastic that when it's the right time, that's exactly what they want, then they're going to say yes. And when it's not the right time, that's okay, because it'll come back around.
I think that is the most brilliant piece of advice. Your business always needs new leads. Your business always needs new subscribers. And if you don't make the offer, it's really, really hard to get what you want, my peeps. Really hard. Let's make this simple. How do people find you to learn how to be better at their lead magnets, how to take their audience to subscribers, and how to build those 3 to 5 tools that are really going to skyrocket not only the short-term business results, but their engine of consistent client growth?
So you can find me at theaudienceconverter.com. Yes, there is a theaudienceconverter.com. I'm also on LinkedIn. You can find my posts and content out there. And if you want to take people from strangers to subscribers, then I have a checklist to guide you through that path, which actually talks about what marketing do you need to guide them from stranger to subscriber. And that can be found in the show notes as well at theaudienceconverter.com/stranger-checklist. It's really long. So but be sure to grab the link there because it's all about how do I get them from they're a stranger, don't know who they are, I don't know who they are, to now they're a subscriber and want to hear more from me.
Guys, this is a fundamental to amplifying your marketing message. This is the key piece of the puzzle. Please go connect, grab that checklist, and more importantly, use it to the betterment of your business. Kimberly, it is always fun to have you on our platform and to play with you. We want to see you win authentically. We want you to find your people. We want you to avoid the mistakes and implement these 7 steps. Check the details, grab that link, and be back here as we talk about how to find your next client on Amplify Your Marketing Message. Have a great day, guys. We will see you on our next episode. Kimberly, thanks for being our guest today.
Thank you so much, Christine.
That's a wrap on another amazing episode of Amplify Your Marketing Message with me, your host, Christine Campbell Rapin. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss another great episode. And be sure to visit christinecampbellrapin.com/podcast to get a free resource on how to master your marketing message. We'll see you all on our next